It's like heaven. Look at that. That's a fantastic one. I need to grab my scissors. In 1 second. And so I'm going to take a piece off of this. Of course, I don't want to work with something so huge. If you look at it in comparison to my hand, like it's big. And I was so excited to see it. She's awesome. So look at the holes there. Look how awesome that is. But, so we'll try this. They're hard to cut sometimes. They're like pretty dense. I'm going to talk to you about how to use a sea sponge, okay? I can't rip it in half. This one's strong. Okay. I'm going to set this darn sea sponge off to the side. Okay, so what you're going to do when you use a sea sponge, I just use like a size like this, okay? And you can always change it out if you don't like the mark that it's making. Like you can use another side of it, or you can get another piece of it. But what you want to do, it's full of paint, is dry it off on your paint towel, okay? Dry it off on your paint towel. We use paint towels instead of paper towels just because we paint so much. We can wash them all the time. If you remember, it's in our favorite things. Where it has links to them. You can buy 100 of them for $20, or we buy 500 at a time for $60. So they're fantastic. You can wash them over and over and over again. Coffee. So here, guys, we're going to work on, you have to trust the process here too, because there is a process. We're going to use some steel blue with our sea sponge through here to make these trees. Then we're going to use a little bit of our light purple, which is our lavender. And then you can just, if you have dark purple, like a dioxazine purple, you can just put white in it and you'll get that. So very pastel-y. We're also going to go down here and do the same process on these bushes with the sea sponge, okay? And then we'll come back and put chunky white on these, okay? We'll also, this tree is going to be left for last. But then we also have these pieces up over here above the church that we have to do while we're working on these, okay? So we're going to get started on these ones over here. And this is such a fun process. I hope you love it. But when you're working with the sea sponge, guys, a couple of things. Like, you don't leave it open. You're going to make that same mark that this, makes every single time, like a stamp. You got to think about that. Or what we do is we hold it like this, we squeeze it, and then our hand moves around like this. And they're light touches, and they're not hard touches, because if you make a hard touch, then it's going to all go together, okay? So what I'll do is I'll be making like a circular mark, moving my hand around. And I'm going to envision, we'll put in the trunks and some limbs later, but you have to envision the treetops. Don't make them all the same height. I'm going to actually put some white with this because I feel like it's a little dark to start. And so I'm going to put some white with my steel blue. All right. And so it's a layering process. So I do this, then I do the lavender, and then I do the white. Okay. So say I'm going to start here. I need to make sure that I like my mark as well. Oh, the sea sponge really nice. I do like the mark. Okay. So I'm going to go around in a circle. Try to make it, them all to look a little bit different, like either in height, or the width or something like that. So if you're OCD, just kind of like play around. You can make some way off in the distance, a little bit further. You see that? Some a little bit darker. The ones that are closer up would generally be a little bit darker, but we're going to have layers to go over these also. So you can, we're going to highlight some more than others. I'm going to come down here. Down here. We will also put some bushes in as well. So I'm going to keep carrying this across here, and I just keep varying like the heights. Turning, you see how I'm turning my hand, and I'm lightly touching. So this tree line is not perfect. It's not all the same. This one I'm going to have disappear just a little bit. It's going to be behind our big tree. Okay. So I'm taking my steel blue, I'm going in for my white. I'm going to go here. Maybe up through here. I have one like peeking through. And then I might have some here. Remember, turn your hand. Don't make all the same mark, okay? So you might have to go on the bottom here a little bit and firm some things up where you might press a little harder, but don't have it all the same shade also, okay? So I'm going to go here. And then you can start making, you can clean up down here in your snow if you need to, but I'm going to make some implications of like bushes down in the front, just a little bit here and there. And I also will touch in between the trees and bushes a little bit because we're going to make it look like it's basically woods back there. Like it's a little bit more dense. You know, it's not just what meets the eye. So I'm going to touch my bushes down here. And the white snow is really what makes everything. Now that I feel is too dark, wipe it off with your finger, guys, or your paint towel. You can get that off right away. Or if you see something later that you don't like, just go back over it with white. You can get it off with white, okay? So you think about Bob Ross, he does this with certain brushes, when he's layering up his trees. I like to use the sea sponge for this, but if you think about that, he has like certain brushes for that work, but he's doing a similar technique where you're layering it up. And it's all on your pressure and how you're holding it. And I was just thinking that. I've never said that before, but I was just thinking it's very similar.